All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to pre-market prep. So, welcome, guys. Hopefully, everybody's having an amazing Friday. Hopefully, you guys are had an incredible. Oh, hold on. I have an echo. I'm gonna turn the YouTube thing off there. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, welcome. As you guys know, on Fridays we do not have engineering the market. So if you're missing Jared, that is why. We usually go straight into our pre-market prep at 8:30, but we're sitting here just waiting for 8:30. Figure let's come on and just kind of go over some stuff. Maybe we'll look at trading terminals, see some of the headlines we have happening today, and just kind of get our minds ready and set to go for 8:30. Peter will be joining us around 8:30 as well, and we'll get cracking and rolling with our regular programming. So hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to us on YouTube as well. Thank you for joining us this morning. And let's see what we have here. Some really big earnings yesterday, guys. So I know we had some big names come out. Apple was one of them. Let's take a quick look on how that is doing this morning. So I'm actually going to hop right into Apple right now because we know that's a big one for today, and I'm sure a lot of people were waiting for Apple to see how that was going to end up. So here it is this morning. We are down 1.2, but they did very well yesterday. Last night they popped up to about 170, I think it was. Let's get into the after hours on the 5 minute here. Almost more like one. No, yeah, 170. So they had a nice pop there yesterday, sold back down, and today it's just down slightly. But they had a decent earnings report, right? So this should be good today to see how they're going to end the day on this Friday. You guys noticed Roku yesterday as well. We'll look in our trading terminal in a second to see if anything's happening there. But on Roku, it actually, oh, there's my friend, my buddy, my pal. I see Peter on. Let me go ahead and bring him in here as well.
Morning.
Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good. You jumped the gun on me. I just heard
No,
your
no, I'm
voice.
just
I'm like,
I just
oh
just
my God,
hopping
I'm
on
late.
and seeing getting the engines warmed up. But yeah, man, thanks for joining. Um so we're just talking about Apple and Roku, some of these companies that were
Mhm.
pretty active yesterday. And Roku was one that actually did very well compared to like a Netflix, like these other streaming services that have not done decent. So they are actually up 4.1 today, so that's nice to see from a streaming service. I was mentioning maybe everyone from Netflix is moving to Roku. I don't know, but you can see here they're getting
Well,
lift.
apparently not, because while they had good earnings, their accounts, the number of accounts was lower than the forecast a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
think just because the sheer amount of drop that they got when Netflix started, selling off and how Netflix been doing bad, I think getting that report, right, there might be some stuff already baked in, right? So it's kind of like,
yep.
okay, it's bad, but it's not as bad as Netflix. And what was their future outlook? I think, right? I think that's the way you kind of
So,
have
so,
to look at it, right?
you didn't disappoint me as much as the other one, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you a pass.
Absolutely. So yeah, they're looking good today. Looking forward to seeing them this morning. Not great volume yet, but hopefully that can get to pick up there. Going back, guys, this is our trading terminal. Very, very clean website. Definitely check it out. A lot of cool stuff off of this, especially our earnings calendar, which we've been taking very much advantage of. Anybody reporting today? Oh yeah, we do have a couple actually. We have a couple in here that will be reporting this day. We have ExxonMobil, we have
Yep.
Chevron. Trying to see any other big names. Honeywell's pretty big. Yeah, let's see. They're reporting this morning. Yeah, a lot of them this morning, and
Yeah.
and
Pretty
one
much
of
all
them,
of them have, at least
yeah,
the major ones, have reported already. So
yep. And then this will be in after hours. Okay, um, cool. So we'll see. A lot of these, I don't see them as great trading stocks, day trading at least. So they're not staking out much, but we'll see. They'll be on the gapless list this morning. Yeah, Chris MC, we had fun covering for Thor yesterday. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me then. Um, so appreciate that. All right, so let's get back to the news here. So what do
yeah,
we
it was a
have?
great job, Carlos. By the way, great conversation, and yeah, you really were sharing a lot of stuff with our users. So it was a fantastic session last night. If you missed it, everyone, it's be too bad.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if we recorded that one. We might have. I didn't, yeah, but it was definitely a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Um, Stock futures slide as Nasdaq heads for its worst month since March 2020. So yeah, we're definitely seeing that. We're seeing that in the SPY, and if you look at the SPY's daily, let's look at a weekly, kind of get a bigger picture. Um, and if you look at a weekly here, you can see that yeah, we have taken a bit of a hit over the last couple of days. Looks like in just these 3 weeks here, right here, here, we had a significant drop. So we're back right back down to some lows over here. But I don't know. We're getting a bit of a bounce here. It's the predictions that you're getting from different analysts, different people that watch the market is interesting. Um, and all I say is we just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. Who knows what's going to happen? But this 415 is like I don't want to say a sanity check, but if we lose that, things could get very interesting very, very quickly. I was I was reading something, Peter. Let me know your thoughts on this. I mean, you've been watching the markets before trading. I'm sure you used to be involved just watching the overall market. Maybe not as a day trader, but as an investor or whatever the case may be. People are saying that a recession usually is known, after you're basically delayed by the time it hits consumers. It's like, oh yeah, we went through a recession, or it's not immediate. And I think we saw that yesterday with Artie's and Artie and Andrew's conversation about the GDP numbers actually being somewhat good, not being as negative as some people thought. So, what's your take on the recession and the comments of it's going to get worse before it gets better? Just wanted to take your idea on that.
Yeah, well, that's certainly true because what happens is people will be calling things a pullback until the point it's obvious it's a recession, and by then you're halfway into it, right? So, that's sort of typical psychology that people go through. So, most of those names, are not useful as a trader because, like you said, they tend to come in retrospect rather than ahead of the curve. So, honestly, my view is one of the things that we've said repeatedly as a trader is you really have to be aware that sharp moves up or down tend to bring the most violent reversals in the middle of the period. So when you actually have a downtrending market, you can get the sharpest upticks or moves up in the stock. They can catch people unawares. Yesterday afternoon was sort of a good example, right, where we had a good move up suddenly in the markets after things having headed down. So it brings trading opportunities more than when you have sort of a flat or non-directional market. But it also brings warnings because if you're strongly biased to the downside, you can get yourself stuck. So, one of the what's the old expression about having strong opinions loosely held? I know I'm probably butchering that, but to me, when you're
Yeah.
in a trending market, that's sort of how you have to approach it, right? Believe that the market's going down, but be ready to reverse that when you see a sign of the market reversing. And that might only last minutes or hours or a couple of days, but don't hold on to, oh, it's going to go down, I'm just going to keep shorting this thing until it does, because you can get hurt bad because it can move up a lot before you're right.
Yeah, yeah, that is 100%, and we kind of spoke about that a little bit yesterday in our session about looking at the bigger picture and not so focusing into every tick or such a small time frame that you're missing what's happening, right? So that's kind of the same thing here. You got to look at the bigger picture and see if things are changing in a different direction. So absolutely. All right, guys, let's look at our gappers list so far this morning. I see it's a lot of stuff in the green right now. We're seeing a couple of ones are popping up pretty big, 16%, 14, 14, 13. So you got some big numbers here. And I see looks like a lot of Chinese stocks leading the way this morning. Billy, Baba, Futu, Lee, XPEV. Do we have any news? Neo? There's got to be some Chinese news. Did I miss something? I definitely missed
Yeah,
something.
yeah. There was news out of China. The Chinese government specifically said that they were going to provide some stimulus and to offset the the effects of COVID and the shutdowns in China. So that stimulus is what's driving our gappers up list, and you can see it's pretty much all of the Chinese offerings, everything from Neo to Baba to Baidu, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Yeah, we'll be definitely looking at those. I see Roku's on there as well, which I like this morning. And yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. And then gapping down today, we do have a couple on here. 41% ACCD. We'll see what's happening there. We have the Robinhood, Amazon. Amazon reporting, guys. Amazon was reporting their first loss in 7 years earnings. I
Yeah.
mean, did I hear that right? Let's take a quick snapshot over here. Look at what's happening, but that's significant for the big giant. Actually, not also significant. That's impressive. I mean,
It's
that's impressive,
impressive.
right?
It's
Because
impressive how they could lose that much money.
well, impressive how in 7 years they haven't, right? They reported good stuff all this time. They went through a pandemic, which actually the pandemic actually helped them, right? Because people are ordering more online. They were not going out on whatever they
Yeah.
needed. So that's probably was a good thing for them. But yeah, very
You know,
interesting.
I am surprised that they haven't missed the market estimates or analyst estimates prior to this. I mean, they're running what's their annual revenue now? Like 500 billion or close to it, 400 and
Yeah.
something billion. I mean, you know, when you have to churn out $100+ billion of revenue a quarter, there's a lot of room for error, right? So you know,
Oh yeah.
it's a tough machine to keep running. So. You know, while they had a disappointing quarter, you know, they're still by far, I think, the largest revenue generating company in the world. So
Oh yeah, yeah, no question at all, guys. All right, so looking forward to see what this gappers list is going to bring. T-Doc, I traded that yesterday, and it just didn't turn out so well. We spoke about that in our session last night, in INTC. So a couple of ones that are looking somewhat. I'm sorry, wrong screen. Looking decent here. We'll hop into those. But let's look at some of the stuff we had yesterday, guys. Yesterday was a tough day. It was really, really hard. We had a day where there was not a lot of continuation. For those, Damien, yes. So thank you, Master Chief. For those that are asking, what website am I on? Which is this one here, which I know you love it because how clean it looks, right? There's no ads here, guys. No ads whatsoever. Very nice. And so this is tradingterminal.com. This is done by our guys over on the headquarters in Vancouver. Again, just really, really clean. Love it very, very much. So definitely check it out. It's a lot of great stuff on here. You got a nice overview. I like this, how you have all the commodities, foreign exchanges, and how they're doing. If you scroll to the bottom, you can see the sector performance by by week, month. See how you want to look at that there. Just a lot of really, really cool features. And again, definitely check it out. Completely free. You do not even have to sign up unless you're going to be using some of the other features like news, and you have also the simulator, which is on here. We have charts as well. So definitely, again, great stuff. Take advantage of it. All right, looking at the stuff yesterday, guys, 8:30. So we'll get going with a regular programming here. Let's start with Facebook. Facebook, let's look at our 5 minute from yesterday. Here we go. And this would have been right around this area. Um,
just before you
yeah,
get going, are you forgetting
sure.
something?
Oh, what am I forgetting? Hold on,
You
hold on.
you you made me a
Okay,
promise.
I know what I'm forgetting. See, since I did not start as I usually do, I forgot something very, very important, my friends. Good morning, welcome to Pretty Market Prep. Hopefully that was enjoyable for you guys there. Um,
There we go.
Welcome, Peter. Thank you for covering for Norm this these
Hey.
last 2 days. Appreciate that. All right, let's get to it, guys. So, yes, let's start with the watch list from yesterday: Facebook, QCOM, PayPal, AMD, TDOC, and Apple. And man, what a rough type day it was, except for a few that traded very well. And Facebook was actually one of them that traded decent after the fact. But I gotta tell you guys, this looks good. This is why you got to dig deep, a little deeper than just looking at the charts, dead charts after the fact. And what a dead chart is for those new traders is that it's something that has already happened, right? The story is already laid out here for you, so you're not watching in real time when things are taking place. The movement is happening. You're not watching it there. And now it's easy to say, hey, nice short here. Hey, great entry here. Oh, great pullback. This is a pullback instead of a I mean, a change in direction instead of a pullback, right? So, why did my charts go blank? Okay, they're back. So it's easy to do that. But if you watch this live, you saw how crazy this price action was, right? Just the pop up and back down. This pop right here, guys, is $5. It's a $5 pop on Facebook, right? So it's easy to look at it now and say, oh man, this could have been great. But it really was not that easy to trade. So very difficult stock. We had QCOM, which again, just we had a lot of this yesterday. The 5 minute looked good, and then just no continuation. Kind of a reversal pattern happening here. Very difficult to trust. PayPal, similar thing here, guys. Nice little pop. If you did not get in very early on here, you did not take advantage of this move. And what's the worst part about this, not the worst part, but what made it even more difficult, you didn't have a pre-market level, let's say here, right? A pre-market high yesterday, let's say the 85 was one, that gave you an idea, hey, let's take a pre-market high breakout or breakdown. These moves were happening within that pre-market high, pre-market low range. So that makes it difficult to get into these moves with some kind of technical strategy, right? And then look at by the time you look at this, there's no continuation move here. It's too extended, right? And then many stocks did just this right here, just completely flat the entire day. So again, just very, very difficult. AMD, same thing here, popped up. They become a better short than most, but you can see here the lack of continuation and then just slamming right back down. TDOC, same thing. This is my trade here, actually. I got in right around this area for sure. It looked like it was going to drop down, and thank God I got right out immediately because look at the squeeze that happened after that. So no good continuation happening there neither. Um, we had Apple, similar thing, popped up here, comes back down, and then sideways action. Now there was two stocks yesterday, two stocks, Peter, and you might know this because we talked about the list last night that traded very well that I did not have on my main list, and that was Tesla. Just look at this beautiful, beautiful drop and continuation. And my friend here, BA, I'm shocked I did not have BA on my list. Look at this beautiful drop here, right? But look at the great and nice pullback you get here to the VWAP, right? Maybe you don't get here because it's too extended, but look at the drop back down. That is a great indication. Hey, we are trying to head south here, and just look at how beautiful that traded there. Payne is selling Nut X also traded good. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not sure. For me, this wouldn't be great, especially not on this stock. So that's just for me personally. All right, let's remove this. Control A, Control X, and before we do that, Peter, I know we kind of went through some new stuff already, but anything else we might have missed as far as overall market news?
Well, overall market, we have actually a lot of information expected to come out. The PCE indices, which are the personal consumer expenditures, I think it stands for, but basically how much are Americans spending on average as uh, of their household income. That's all expected to come out this morning, any minute now. So hopefully we'll see some good numbers on that. And if that comes out significantly lower than expected, that will have an impact on the market. But I expect it to be pretty much in line. Other than that, we are on a Friday, which means that we should expect some lower volumes this afternoon. But I expect it to be pretty good this morning after the move yesterday. We should see some movement. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to see movement outside of the range. I actually expect sort of an inside day. What I mean by that is that the range of movement today will probably be less than yesterday and within the bounds of the candle. Like we actually had a pretty big move yesterday. So I expect the price on the SPY, for example, to stay between 430 to 420 on the low side. Now, I could be totally wrong and things could move, but that's sort of what I'm going in with that expectation. But I still think there's going to be good moves because we have a ton of earnings that happened both last night and this morning in some big companies, plus the news out of China, which is seen as positive. And we'll talk about that as we look at our gappers list. So should be some good trading this morning. I can't hear you, Carlos.
My mistake. Hopefully, a little bit better than what we had yesterday as far as good trading. But it is Friday, so we'll have to see how things play out. Okay, gappers list, guys. Let's start here with PDD this morning. Oh, let's do this. Let's line up our trade ideas with our montage. So external linking over here on tools. If you want to do that, you're going to get this little pop-up here, and this allows you to link this to any montage you like. So this one here, which is going to hover where we want that ticker to kind of populate. Just hit shift on your keyboard. That's going to record that information, hit OK, and you can put that on here. And if you want to put it on another montage, you can do two. You don't have to do one. You can do another one, add link, go to another montage you want that same ticker to populate in, do the same process, and then you're all set, good to go. We'll close this, get this out of the way. And now when you click on any of your trade idea scanners, that ticker is going to populate here. So very, very helpful, especially if you have scanners that you are relying on, your turbo breakup, turbo breakdown, and you want to look at a stock quickly instead of typing it in as you're processing information during the market open. That can save you a lot of time. So trade ideas, guys, definitely check them out. I think we have a discount link in our website. We'll get that out for you guys. Oh, there it is. Oh, perfect timing. Thank you. Over on YouTube. PDD, guys, this morning we are up 15%, 1.1 million shares traded. So I like the volume here. Is PDD, Peter, a Chinese stock? I'm
Yes,
not. It is.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't 100% sure, but I figure it must be. Okay. So PDD, guys, up huge this morning, 15%. I like this pop here. Not a huge fan of this one at times, but with that type of volume, hopefully we can get something good out of it. Tons of Chinese stocks here, guys. Billy, JD, Becky, I believe it is as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Peter. Baba
Becky,
for
yeah,
sure.
I think it is.
Yeah, Baba for sure. Futu
Yep.
for sure. Baidu, Lee, XPEF. I mean, Neo, Lian. Lian's got to be Chinese. I mean, that's just Lion Bio. I used to work for a Chinese company, and man, we had some good times with my friends. I made a lot of great friends, and so thoughtful. Every time they went back to China to the headquarters and they came back to visit, they always brought me something. I got tons of stuff here. It's just very, very good people. Um,
Well, Leanne is actually U.S. based.
Oh,
So,
okay. There you go.
and they have
So
news. So they're a biotech company, and they had an
mhm,
FDA approval. So that's why they're moving up.
gotcha. They're not looking great though, as far as right now, especially for being a biotech company, which got to be very careful. But they're not looking good though. They definitely need more volume this morning. I do have I, I do have I do want to add Baba on my list, up 11% right now. This one seems to be the better trade out of all of them. Crazy volume, 1.9 million shares traded right now. So I definitely like what I'm seeing there. Um, Futu, I'm just gonna look at some of the Chinese stuff that we're gonna keep on deck here. Baidu is up nicely, 8.1. I don't like the pre-market as much, but we might need to wait for the market open for that one to get going. XBEF and Neo. Let's see which one out of these two we're going to keep. Um, XBEF has a decent pre-market activity, but Neo's got the volume. Neo's got 1.9 million shares traded. So Neo's the way to go today. I'm only gonna
Yeah,
keep these
pre-market, it's
three.
always Neo that gets that volume. For
Yeah,
whatever reason, they're the bigger trader.
yeah. I'm not gonna add more of these Chinese stocks because I don't want to be heavy on just one area, right? And most likely, I probably will drop PDD to Apostle because I prefer to watch Baba and Neo over the other Chinese stocks we
There
have
you
here,
go.
right? So,
And we have a couple people asking in the room, so they must have just joined. So to reiterate for everybody, the Chinese government issued a statement saying that they were going to they were going to help make sure that they hit their economic goals and provide stimulus to the economy because of the COVID shutdowns. So that news of stimulus and supporting the economy has got all of the Chinese stocks up this morning.
yeah, so you can see some of that there, guys. You can look for more information on this on the trading terminal. You can see some links down here. If you put any Chinese ticker towards the bottom, you got a couple of links giving you that information. So if you click on this one, that we were just looking at right now, right there. So
It's an interesting question here from
yeah,
Jay Bartram. He's, how is this bullish for the U.S.? Frankly, it's not, but
no,
it is bullish for stocks for Chinese-based companies that are traded on the U.S. stock exchange. So that's why we're seeing the Chinese offerings up. Money's flowing into them because the expected benefit they're going to get from the Chinese government investment. Probably it's bad news for the U.S. economy overall, except in terms of managing inflation. Because if the Chinese economy gets back on track, there was an interesting stat that I saw this morning where the time of goods to be shipped from China to both the US and Europe has gone up by almost 2.5 times. So it's something like 111 days now, whereas before in 2019 it was only like, there you go. That's exactly the chart. So there you go. So it's more than doubled since 2019. So that is causing a knock-on effect in terms of the cost of goods and the impact of the U.S. economy. So if China's economy picks up, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, the U.S. economy is tied to it. Certainly when it comes to consumer products.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing that guys going to keep PDD, Baba, and Neo for now. Let's see what else on this list is not Chinese stock related, and maybe we can get some stuff happening there. JD is another one that many people like, and actually JD has a nice pop today. JD could be a good possible, guys. I do see a lot of activity on JD as well. We'll throw that as a possible for now. DWAC is not
Also a
Chinese.
Chinese stock.
I'm sorry.
JD is a Chinese stock.
Right. JD's a Chinese stock. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's why I put it on here. So I'm not gonna add him up here because just so many
okay,
on there. But DWAC, this is not a Chinese stock, and then this one here
definitely not.
is yeah, definitely not. And they're up 9.8. Is Twitter down? Is Twitter down? These guys are popping up here. No, Twitter's flat. Twitter is
No, in this
flat.
case, it's just it's starting to be used. Trump is, I guess, started using his own service, so that's what's got people encouraged that maybe it's getting off the ground. It's had a very rough start, and we'll see what happens with it. From a trading point of view, I find it a tough trader. It tends to be a little jumpy. The spread is variable. It can be tight, and then it can open up really quickly. So I personally don't like trading it just because of the way it trades. But
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
interesting to see what happens to it as a stock and a company for that matter.
Yeah, no, they are a horrible intraday trading stock. And I just yeah, and the overall business. I mean, I don't know how that's going to survive with other big names, but we will see for sure. So if you like DWAC guys, or you don't like Elon Musk and you want to try something else, try DWAC. Social Truth is a service, I think it's called. So
Truth Social, yeah.
Truth Social. I don't
Truth Social.
know.
Speaking of which, on the other side of that coin, Twitter is not making our list, but it's been in the news. I love the memes going around this morning. It's all about they're taking different scenes from TV shows. This will be Elon walking into Twitter headquarters, about him sort of walking around and firing everybody he sees. But we'll we'll see what happens with Twitter. I've been watching it all week, and it's definitely settling down from a stock perspective. There was some good trading on it yesterday, but you got to pick your places. So we'll see. I don't expect it to be particularly in play today.
Yeah, yeah, moving it down to apostle just in case something happens here. But same thing. I think we're just kind of gonna be flat for a while here, at least not tradable. And the volume is starting to come down, right? The madness here, you see the volume coming down a little bit.
Right.
So Tesla, I think Tesla's gonna be fun, guys. It has been over the last couple of days. Very wide ranges here on the daily. Worth watching today. Their consolidation a little bit interesting, right? They gapped up a few days here after this huge drop, and they sold off. They're gapping up again, another 2.2. Are we looking to do the same thing today? Who knows? So Tesla
Yeah.
definitely in play.
Tesla's one of the news is swirling. So back to what we're talking about on Twitter, those are related, of course. Right now, last night the news was that Elon sold 3.9 billion of stock, presumably to fund his acquisition of Twitter. The funny thing was all the talk was split as to whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. Right? People are saying, well, it's a bad thing because Elon's divesting some of his Tesla holdings. But on the other side, people are saying, yeah, but that's a lot less than anticipated because he's got other partners, money partners that are providing funding. So, I think overall, Tesla, it's hard to keep that stock down. So I expect to see it probably go up a little bit. Overall, there is news on Tesla as a company, by the way, as well. They did have to recall a bunch of, I can't remember now if it was 10,000 or 100,000 vehicles, but in China because of electronic or computer issues. So there is some news that might be a little bit of a drag on it.
Yeah, that's definitely not gonna help them at all there. So yeah, we'll definitely be looking at Tesla guys this morning. And Artie had mentioned a great a comparison to how Tesla is somewhat reacting. Usually when you have a buyout or a stock that's buying another stock out, the purchaser drops and the one that's being acquired pops, right? So that's kind of what he feels, that although Tesla's not directly buying Twitter, people might be
Right.
considering as Elon using some of his financial stuff from Tesla, whatever, to buy Twitter. So you're kind of having this kind of same effect. So he explained it yesterday on the After Hours. Guys, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, definitely do that. They're going live a few times a week. And I'm learning a lot, providing a lot of great information on the overall market. All right, let's see what's gapping down today, this morning, guys. ACCD, no, this is no good. The reason is we're down 41%. I love that. But this is just messy, really, really messy. I, I I just
Yeah,
don't
this
see
is
how.
where I could use some help from everybody
Yeah,
out there. The news feels like a big overreaction. So they had disappointing earnings. I get that. And they missed their numbers, but not significantly. They actually beat on revenue, missed on earnings. Overall, the expectations were that this was going to be a higher growth company than what we've seen so far. But 40%, like that feels a little bit of an overreaction. So unless there's other news on this, I don't know why ACCD is down so much.
yeah. So I'm looking at the news now. I don't see anything out of control, but yes, something definitely hurting them big time today. I still don't like them as a possible stock to trade this morning. I think we need a little bit more volume, and we might not just get that, and this might just be done here. We'll see. Now, I do like stocks that have an overreaction. They can quickly close this gap here. If somebody realize, hey, $6, this doesn't make any sense. So we'll be looking at that one on the scanners. Here is Robinhood, guys. So Robinhood, right? They laid off some people, or are planning on laying off 9% of their staff, of their permanent staff, which is not good. So here they're down 11%. Is there other new news on these guys?
Well,
Um,
I mean, they had earnings as well, so they missed their numbers. Total number of users are down. I mean, they hit their heyday, of course, when everybody was investing in the upturn market. Stimulus checks were coming out, and Hood was an easy place if you wanted to play the market. It had the lowest barrier to access to just dump some money into the market and see what happens. And
Agreed.
they had a good combination of effects of all of that I just mentioned. Plus, of course, the meme stocks were taking off with GME and AMC, where those are very accessible to people. And oh my God, I could triple my money overnight. So with all of that gone and the market getting back to a normal cadence, Hood is just not seeing its bread and butter retail investors coming to it in the same levels. So yeah, disappointing on earnings on Hood. No surprise to my mind. Again, not a great trader. No matter
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
feel about Hood as a company, it just doesn't trade very well.
Yeah, yep, I agree. And again, we're very thankful for Robinhood. They brought in this competitiveness to brokers, where a lot of brokers are now free commissions because of these guys. So right, they innovated that, and
Well,
competition is
yeah,
good.
and they've enabled some long-term changes, right? Again, whether you like or not how it came about, those meme stocks, as I called them, really brought rise to a lot of the practices that happened in Wall Street that just were never sort of acknowledged openly. So we'll see if that creates actual change. Meaning that
Yeah.
like what was it? Was it GME that was like 140% short sold? And
Hmm.
that was by institutional investors, and they're the ones that got punished when the retailers jumped into it. So that was the first time sort of ever in history that Wall Street got punished by the common investor, right? Normally they would just overpower them. In this case,
Yeah.
the power of the masses got them, and they weren't happy, but it's sort of their own poison. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, agreed. Amazon guys, again, tough to intraday trade this one. Big drop for them. Again, reporting their first loss in a quarter in 7 years. So obviously they're going to take a hit, but I'm sure they'll be fine. But
Yeah,
again,
they
just a
also did
tough one.
provide some lowered
Mhm.
guidance going forward, which is also what's causing the drag.
Yeah, yeah. INTC, here we are down 4.2. This looks interesting. I do like the daily on the way we're setting up here with some of the levels I'm seeing, so that's good. Um, these guys could be a hit or miss. They can be good, very good at times, and just insanely choppy when they are in play. Did they have earnings last night? Yes, they did. After
Yeah,
hours earnings, it looks like that didn't go too well.
yeah,
Um,
they're Their earnings were they actually beat their numbers on the earnings overall, but they did provide a lowered forward looking guidance, which is why they're seeing a little bit of a downturn.
Absolutely. STM foreign stock not looking too good this morning. We'll skip on that one, and then we have TDOC, which was had a good bounce yesterday, guys. Although it was tough to trade at the open at first, but did eventually end up bouncing towards the later parts of the day. I mean, just look at this double bottom here, and just look at this run. So could be interesting. I mean, I like the fact that we gapped down huge. Are we looking to close some of this gap today? Is this an overreaction on the drop that we had, right? So I like T Doc. It is not a great one. You got to be patient with this one. Let it settle in and kind of give you some candles to go off first, because you saw the start of this was very, very, very nasty. But let's see. I like the way they ended the day yesterday. I like that we're somewhat trying to slam up against the previous day close and the high of yesterday, and we have such a big gap on this. So, are people going to find value on this and ride this up a little bit today? So, we'll see. All right, let's take a look at some of the stuff you guys have. I almost called you Norm because just doing this for so long. Peter, what do
That's
you
all
have on
right.
your end that you like?
Well, a few things I'll mention. They're not necessarily moving, but just to be aware that they also had earnings. I think we talked about Apple a little earlier. I mean, it's been on our list for a long time. They had their earnings last night. A lot of mixed numbers. Overall, their numbers were good,
Yes.
but in the press conference they had to announce the earnings, the CEO did mention there's going to be a hit because of the activity in China, and it was a wide range, 4 to 8 billion, and that wide range creates a lot of uncertainty in the market. So that's why we're seeing Apple actually draw down first thing this morning after I think being up quite a bit after hours. So
Yes.
that's that. You mentioned Roku, Intel, ExxonMobil missed their numbers largely due to their exit of Russia. So that's XOM again, one of those questionable type traders, but it's out there. In the same industry, Chevron, CVX actually had mixed earnings, so that's another one. And last one I'll mention is AstraZeneca, AZN. They actually beat their numbers and had earnings last night as well. That's it for me.
Yeah. Out of all of these, the one I kind of like the most is ExxonMobil. I think they can be a little bit better this morning with news, right? So we'll see. As a possible for now, still not looking great, but we see some good stuff out of these companies, especially with everything going on in that sector, has made them not say great, but a little more tradable, especially when there's news in one specific direction. So that's looking good there. Guys, let's get over to our chat this morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Sohan Tesla is on deck. I do like that one. We added Apple. Fabio Futu. Futu this morning. I have so many Chinese stocks here, and I'm not gonna keep them all. I have PDD, Baba, and Neo, and I think these three on the Chinese side with what's going on there, I think they are probably the best for me. For me, but you have a few to choose from today. XBev is on there too, so definitely take a look at what you like best on there. JD as well. I have JD as a possible, but frankly, this is looking actually better than PDD for sure. I do like this one. So a lot of choices on that Chinese front. Chris MC, you're giving us a couple here. I'm going to take two from you, AMD, and I'm going to look at Oxy. So we'll look at AMD there, and AMD today pretty quiet. What's your thoughts on AMD today, Peter?
Yeah, it's quiet pre-market. That's actually good for me. I prefer to trade it when it's not got, when it's not significantly in play and creates, unusual price activity. So, I expect sort of a normal day, which is good. So I'll be watching it for sure, as you
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Oh, of course. I know. I know. If I'm not watching it, I know who can call something great on it if they see something. And then let's take a look at Oxy. Oxy this morning, pretty quiet. So this one, Chris MC, I know you have it on there. You got to wait for the market open to see what you're going to get here. So I'm not going to add it just yet, but I'm sure this will be watched by many. Heading down, AMD is good. I have, I mean, not good, but we looked at it. QCOM, Matt, QCOM. I'm not sure about the second day on here on QCOM. I think you had a pretty run, a decent trading day yesterday. Second day on this, it might just return to its regular trading. I don't think you're going to get this type of volume today. I think it's going to go back down just to its regular trading day. This is not the type of stock that's going to give you like another continuation unless it was a really big catalyst. it's going to be done. I think you're just moving sideways now. It's just getting back to your regular programming on this. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I won't see this on my list unless it starts hitting some of these scanners. INTC we do have. We'll take a closer look at that one. AMD, not on the list yet, but Peter will be watching that one, and we are all set in our chat. Thank you guys. Over on YouTube, good morning, my friends. Let's see what you guys have today. I saw someone mention to take a look at what stock was that? Neo. Okay, so we did look at Neo. So Neo, I do have on my list, so that's good. Going up to make sure I don't miss anyone. Phil, Apple. Yes, Apple earnings looking really good this morning, 2.9. So we'll definitely be watching that one. Trong, you're giving us AMD and Nvidia. Let's take a look at Nvidia since we looked at AMD already. Same thing here, very quiet, but I like Nvidia, so I will put them as a possible. If that tech sector gets going, especially with Apple kind of leading the queues here, if they can push up higher, that could be interesting. If Apple can go in the green, I will not be surprised if some of these other tech big companies are also going to follow suit. So I really like Apple to kind of be the lead on the tech side on this, and Apple can move the market. I mean, this stock we've seen it before. If Apple starts running, it can do magic to some of these other semiconductors related tech companies. So we'll see what it does today. I'm hoping that we can break out of 164. That'll be good for everyone if you're in a long situation. Um, Okay, anything else over on YouTube? If not, we are all set. We're gonna go to our community announcements. We're a little bit early, which is good. Carlos, is the 5 minute ORB your bread and butter strategy? Yes, but not in the last couple of months. In the last couple of months, these breakouts from the pre-market highs and lows, high of the day, low of the day have been actually not crazy better, but a lot much better, a lot more predictable to time. We spoke about this yesterday in our session, the 5 minute. Great example yesterday. If you look at our watch list yesterday, all the 5 minute stocks, if you waited for 5 minutes, they ran too much. They were too extended from the VWAP, and now that's not a good entry. And when you got the pullback, you had to wait for a deep pullback to the VWAP. They just kept going down. So now the 5 minute breakout for me, it's over at that point, right? You start looking for breakout strategies. And as we mentioned before, maybe you missed it. A lot of them, for example, like TDOC, or no, let's pick a better one. Was it TDOC? I forgot which one it was, but they all stay within the pre-market high and pre-market low, so you did not get an opportunity for an actual breakout out of a significant level. So it was tough day yesterday. Yes, it was not a day for 5 minute open range breakouts. You were just gonna have a tough time if you were looking for that. It was a great scalping type day. So
Mm.
understanding what type of day you're in and how the stock is trading is so important, guys. Very, very important. Um,
And you bring up a good topic there, Carlos. I'll just mention briefly. As a trader, it's important to be able to judge market conditions and know when your strategies are more or less effective. Right now, my strategies are much less effective. This market is just moving in a way that my traditional, mountain pass strategy, if you're familiar with that, which is really a double
yes,
top, double
yes.
bottom, or my lightning bolt, which is a VWAP continuation play. Neither one of them I'm seeing a lot of setups for, which means I just have to be extra patient. In Carlos's case, he's saying you sort of moved to a secondary strategy. That's a great approach to have, but don't do it in a knee-jerk fashion, right? You have to say, okay, so
Hmm.
maybe my strategies aren't generally working. I either move to another set of strategies you've got, or spend some time developing them, but don't start jumping around. That's how you get yourself into trouble. So right now, in my case, right, I'm taking it easy. A lot fewer trades than regular. Yes, I've got some other strategies that I tend to play, but I'm not as comfortable with them. So I'm taking it light, and I know the market will come back into play in a way I like. Or if not, if this continues for several months, then I'm going to have to start looking at developing some new strategies. But what I'm not doing is I'm not just chasing things randomly, right? Because I've done that in the past, and I know it doesn't work. So
It
don't be
sure does
afraid,
not.
right? If things aren't going
Yep.
your way, just take a deep breath and take it easy.
Yep, I agree. Um, a quick question here, since we have a little bit of time, is how do I set my stop loss on break and high of the day? Usually it depends. I mean, you have to look at it per chart. I don't have like a set level, but the VWAP is always a good indicator for me, right? So if I'm getting in close to the VWAP, obviously it'll be below the VWAP. I'll give it some room, but the VWAP is usually what I like, especially on the 5 minute, because if you look at the 5 minute breakout, you want to get in as close as possible to the VWAP, but that is a good indication. If we lose the VWAP, then you don't have a good chance of this thing staying in the course. So that is the way I do it. But again, you had to relook at every single situation, because sometimes the VWAP is not the best place for you to stop out. It's going to be where, hey, if we get to this point, my strategy is no longer in place, right? So that requires a little more of an explanation with some examples for me to show you. So hopefully we'll do that sometime when we have a lot more time. All right, with that said, guys, let's look at the stuff that's coming up for next week, community events and announcements. I'm gonna bring this one up over here, and then we'll come back and we'll fine tune this list. We're definitely gonna be taking off some of the Chinese stocks off. I'm probably gonna watch only one, and we'll make this list look nice and pretty for today.
Well, I can't believe, everybody, that we are at the end of April. Where is the time going? So, and we're at the end of a week. So, let me just tell you what we normally do on a weekly basis, because every week we've got information and activity for you, learning opportunities that you can join either live or on our recordings if you're an elite member, because we do post pretty much everything into our education center. On Mondays is when we welcome new traders and have an onboarding class. Carlos leads that. That's at 7 o'clock every time on Mondays. Often we follow by a tech session where Kyle will share some tech insight with us. Next Monday coming up, Kyle will be talking specifically, sorry there, Carlos, about the new features in DAS. So that'll be at 8 o'clock I assume, is that in the classroom or in the webinar room?
That is in the webinar room for our elite
In the
members.
webinar room. There you go. Okay. Tuesdays are all about strategy and trade books. So this week, Eamon gave us his view on parabolic reversals, which is great, recorded and posted into the Education Center. Next Tuesday, Artie is going to be with us talking about implied volatility. So I know that's one that a lot of people have been looking for. Artie is a great options trader and understands the markets well. By the way, if you haven't, check him out live. He often does a live show right at the end of the day in the markets with Andrew. They did one yesterday, which is posted on our YouTube site. Very informative and some great information. But he'll be doing a webinar with us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. once again in the webinar room. Wednesdays are all about psychology. And this Wednesday, we had Mike talking about your FOMO, fear of missing out, and how you manage that. Next Wednesday, on May the 4th, we'll be talking with Dr. Kenneth Reed at 8 o'clock, who will be talking about the trend line. And as an active trader, his sessions are very good because he can personally understand what you're going through and combine the psychology with the trading recommendations and strategies. Thursdays are all about mentorship. And like we mentioned, this Thursday, Carlos sat in for Thor and really shared his insights, talked about his trading experience, and answered all of our members' questions. It was a great session. We, was scheduled for an hour and we ran late just because we were all having fun and there was a lot of good information flowing. But we also have mentorship with Andrew that happens at 11 o'clock on Thursdays. And then Ed, either in the room towards the end of the day or after the close, provides his mentorship insight. So that's what Thursdays are all about. And welcome to Friday. And Fridays here are when we sort of go towards the end of the week. We will sometimes talk about crypto on Fridays with Jared. But I don't think we have a crypto session scheduled for today. But what we do have every day is the availability of our truck. Oh my God, I can't talk. Our stock trading simulator. Easy for me to say, right? So check it out at stocktradingsimulator.com. And it's completely free. We will not bombard you with advertising or requests to pay for things. It's really just a tool that we wanted to provide because we were seeing a gap in the market. And if you sign up for the watch list, Eamon will provide you a list of recommended stocks you can use the simulator to test against. Hopefully that will give you some insight. That combined with our trading terminal, both free tools, by the way. But if you like those, then you should check out the stuff that we have in the room. Oh, there you go. Look at that. There's our tradingterminal.com. Oh, and you can access the simulator in there as well. But those are both completely free. They're things that Andrew has stood up that we really just want to provide, sort of the top quality trading tools. As traders, we said, what would make our trading lives easier? and a place to get all the information. There's lots of news sources out there, we're aware, but nothing that had everything that we were looking for. So we were trying to combine it, and we think this is a great tool. So check it out. Give us your feedback, because we really want to know how it works for you. What you would suggest would change and what should be added to it. So go check all that out. But anyways, if you like that and you wanted to join us, the chat room is the core of Bearable Traders, and it's where we trade live every day. We share insights. We talk about what stocks we're seeing move at any given moment in time. I get lots of trade recommendations on a daily basis from the chat room. So it's a great source of information. You can join us on a 1-week trial for 24 bucks. Use the code premarket24 and you can just check it out, see what it's like, see if it works for you. You also get access to the onboarding class on Monday when you do that. And if you did want to join us, then you can still use the code SPRING50, which gives you 50% off our annual elite membership. That gives you access to everything, all of our webinars, our education, our psychologists, our inventory of back classes, if you will, the whole library of stuff we have in the education center. So you definitely will find value out of it, and hopefully we'll see you in the room. If anybody's new in the room, say hi, and we'll give a shout out to you. But we welcome all of our existing members and any. Well, I appreciate that, but you've been around for a while. We know you well. Gavin's new out there. Fantastic. Well, hello. Anyways, hello to everybody. So, and Raul. Oh, we got Harbinger, S.J., Daniel, Mike Fitz, D, John S. A lot of people saying hi. So, hello and good morning to everyone. All right, with that, let's take a look at some levels.
All right. Good morning, guys, and welcome to those that are new to the BBT family. All right, guys, let's take a look here. So we have PDD and Baba. I'm undecided which one I'm going to keep here. So I'm gonna definitely take off PDD. I just don't think this is a great trader, but I'll put it here next to some of our possibles. So PDD, we'll put it on there. They do got great volume today. They are leading the way on the gap up for on the entire gap up list. Also leading the way on these Chinese companies that are popping up today. But Baba and Neo, guys, again, out of the Chinese companies, these two we've traded very well in the past. They can put on a really good show. So definitely gonna be watching them this morning. Both got great volume, guys. Above 2 million shares traded, up 11.6, Neo 3.7. Definitely like what I'm seeing there. Roku, guys, I like Roku a whole lot today. The daily looks great. We'll keep that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to get rid of one. Tesla is staying. Roku is staying. INTC, I like the daily. Let's see. It might be TDOC. I think TDOC is going to hop off here. We'll put you to the side, my friend, just because we don't know what's going to do, what it's going to do here. I want this to pop up and start closing that gap, maybe an overreaction on the gap down, and that could create a nice long opportunity here. But that's a stretch. And the last time it didn't happen at the market open, it kind of happened a little bit later in the morning or in the day. So maybe we'll give this a little more room. We can check into it after. Let's do some levels. Here we have Baba. And look at the levels yesterday, right? 93, 90, 86. Now we have actual highs and lows of the pre-market of the last two trading days and the previous day close. Covering these levels, because the levels that we put yesterday, guys, we did a good job there. So if we remove those, you can see some of the levels that are now being done by the last two trading days, overlapping those levels that we found. So you're all set down there, and you can see here we've got 93.60 also coming in as well. Low of the pre-market for Baba this morning, 98. Beautiful pop today. So 98.05, the high of the pre-market over at 104.24. So we'll throw a level there. And the price action, as you can see, also sitting at an area where we do have some interest here on the daily. So 101.34. You got a couple of days opening, closing right around that area. So that looks good. Definitely want to have that in there. And then towards the top here, we do have obviously the big level, which is this one here over at 109, might actually be 110. You got a lot of support happening right on this. So that's good. And in between here, kind of a midpoint level, 107. Not great, but you have a couple of days touching that. So that maybe you add a little bit less weight to that level of support and resistance. So that is good there for Neo. Let's take a look at, I'm sorry, for Baba. Let's take a look at Neo. Towards the bottom, you do not need to do anything, guys. Everything is done here for you. Thank you, Dash Trader Pro, for putting those in there. 1852, high of the pre-market, and then towards the bottom here, Well, again, we do have a day opening closing here on 18. It's also a whole dollar number, so that could have some significance there. We'll mark that as well. High of the pre-market, 1852. And then above this on the daily, very clear level here, guys, 1927. I don't see anything in between here that's significant. So we'll stick with 1927. Look out for 19. That's a whole dollar number as well. But that is Neo, guys. Great volume this morning. We got tons of volume there. Let's see if that's going to trade well today. I love the daily on Roku. Pre-market's a little quiet, but Roku's done this before to us, right? Where it's a quiet pre-market session, and then we can get going after the bell. So I won't be surprised if this thing gets cranking. High of the pre-market, 96.71. Towards the top, we do have a nice level here at 101.26 or so, and then a very clean level of support, resistance, right at 110. I don't think we'll get there today, but this 105 is not a stretch if we are going to push nicely on a nice little pop here and get some continuation. So let's see. Looking good there on Roku, guys. Let's see how strong this is going to be, knowing that they did not completely crap the earnings, right? So we'll see how that goes. Here is Tesla, and again, Tesla has had it.
Sorry, yeah, maybe they didn't completely crap the bed. So sure, let's look at
Mhm.
them.
But after looking at what the streaming services are doing, they're all right. They're all right. But here's Tesla, guys. Interesting situation with them here. I mean, the drop all the way down to 825, recovering back to that 900 number, stuck between the highs and lows of the last two trading days. Just a whole lot that can happen here in any direction. I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market 884. So you're taking care of there. And I think that's all I'm going to do on Tesla. I'm not gonna add anything else. I want to break out of this range here, or at least head towards that 920 will be nice. And then the breakdown also, if you lose this level of the previous day close, where you have incredible support at, you do have some levels down here as well. But it's going to be interesting. I do like the pre-market action on Tesla right now. Great volume. It is definitely in play this morning. INTC, good activity right now. 524,000 for this stock is actually pretty good. This is a tech company, right? Sitting on the NASDAQ exchange. But to me, every time I look at it, it feels like it trades on NICE stock. It can be very choppy at times. So be cautious with that. 44.60 low of the pre-market, 44.08, nice level of support happening here. And also here we got 43.67. And then if you look north, guys, you're pretty much taken care of there. Nothing to add. Everything is set. Highs and lows. Previous day close, doing a really good job on that side. Here is Apple, which I am very excited about. Good earnings yesterday. High of the pre-market 162.85. Beautiful, beautiful pre-market activity, guys. Not only are we getting insane volume, 3.3, but we're actually getting some movement. If you guys remember, I think it was 2 days ago, they had like 6.7 million shares traded, but their pre-market action was horrible, right? So yeah, you had double the volume, but you were not trading very well. We're trading well today into the pre-market. So I like that. Like that a whole lot. Let's take a look here. Highs and lows of the last two tradings surrounding our price action at the moment. And yeah, we're smack in the middle of the highs and lows of the last two trading days, right? And then you're surrounded by tons of levels. I don't think you need to add anything. Where the price action is now, there might be a couple of days on here. I mean, it's not huge, but if I look at this, yeah, it's not bad. Pre-market also, you're kind of playing around and flirting with this level. That's not bad. 160.60. Let's throw that on there and be set for that. All right. That is our watch list, guys. Quick recap. We have Baba, Neo, Roku, Tesla, INTC, and Apple. And then a couple of possibles down here. Twitter, we'll see what's happening there. NVIDIA, ExxonMobil, it's got some stuff happening there as well. We'll see how those are going to play out. 9:15 or 9:16. Let's get to our moderators lineup. We'll start here with Peter. IPOs, a couple coming out today. The DEMA is reporting. Hold on. Let me get our visuals for our YouTube friends. Let me bring
Yeah,
this
while
over.
Carlos is doing that, I'll just say our IPOs have been a little spotty recently. They haven't come out always to schedule, especially the non-SPAC offerings. I've got a bunch that I'm watching because they actually never came out. So we'll see. We've got three
Oh,
listed today. They may or may not open. Well, you never know until the bell rings and it tells me that they're trading. So
yeah, absolutely. Guys, BBT Woman's happy hour today at noon. Man, that happy hour starts early. What's going on with our BBT woman? Happy
I
hour
know.
at
I
noon.
was I
Whoa.
was joking with Tiffany. That could lead to an interesting afternoon of trading for the ladies. So, if you're a woman trader and you want to join that women's happy hour, please do so. Reach out to Tiffany if you're not part of the group. It's a fantastic group. Everybody always says it's so much fun. So and educational. They talk stocks, and what is always supposed to be a short session always goes longer. So just email Tiffany at bearbulltraders.com and you can be part of that as well.
Absolutely. And guys, we have a very strong ladies community here at BBT. This is not a bro hug type situation, and we have a they have a whole lot of fun. Tiffany, and Tiffany. Who else we have? We have Dima. We have Susan. They have an amazing time there. So, ladies, say hi
Yeah.
over here on your to YouTube. We appreciate you guys having some fun today over at Happy Hour. So enjoy. That's gonna be
Yeah.
lots of fun there. Megan, how can I forget Megan? Oh, look,
Megan.
I knew she was gonna send something. There you go, Megan.
And then our members and Anne and Anna and I know we have a ton of Arts and a
How
bunch of
about
the
art?
others that
How about
join.
art? I love everybody, but art is just amazing, right? I mean, she is. I have actually met her here in the city, and she is always so thoughtful. Every time I'm
Yep.
sick, she sends me an email. Hey, hope you're okay. It's like it's amazing, right? So thank you for
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yep. Great.
all right, ladies, let's get to our watch list this morning. Here we have our moderators list. Starting with Dima, we have Apple, Baba, JD, and PDD. Peter, you are looking at Apple, AMD, Baba, INTC, Roku, and Neo. Jared, JD, Apple, Roku. Secondary list, Neo, INTC, and T-Doc. Tiffany, you're looking at Baba, Tesla, and Apple. And Brian, our friend here, is looking at PDD, Billy, Apple, Tesla, and ABBV. Thor, Apple, and Roku for today. And that calls it, guys. We are ready to rock and roll. Andrew and Brian are up next, trading live in our chat room. For those that have not seen what our chat room looks like, I'll give you a quick shot of that. It is very neat. Definitely check us out. You're going to get a mirror effect, but I want you to see exactly how this looks. This is it right here. So we'll stop the mirror effect there. But this is how it looks there. You have your moderators line up here. You have your chat happening over here on this end. So again, definitely check it out. You have pre-market 24. You can try for 7 days, get access to 2 trading chat rooms, this one and Ed's. So a whole lot of fun there. All right, guys, we ran out of time and we took 5 minutes from our Brian and Andrew. We're going to give that to them right away. Thank you for joining us. Have an amazing weekend over on YouTube. Peter and I are going
But
to continue. Yeah.
wait, I can't trade my Friday without your normal warning there, Carlos. You got to tell me.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Guys, it is Friday. So what that means is you are going into the weekend, must be disciplined today. What you do not want to do, guys, is be sitting there on a Saturday morning having your breakfast, thinking about how you broke your rules. It's horrible. Then you got to wait 2 days to be able to make that up because it feels like you can only make it up sometimes when you go back and you trade very well. It's like how you can redeem yourself. Well, that can happen for today. So you don't want to be killing your mindset. Be disciplined today. Know that it's Friday. The volume does die down a little bit early. So be aware of that. You don't want to be that guy at 3 o'clock, 3:30, trying to make a home run trade to break even or go green. So just be mindful of that, guys. Be very, very careful, very cautious, be disciplined. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you guys on YouTube on Monday. Take care, guys. And
There
Peter,
you
thank you
go.
so much for covering for Norm. We appreciate it very, very much.
My pleasure, and thanks, Carlos. We all needed that. Have a good, safe weekend, everybody.